So, the story begins with a girl named Nina, who had come to the US on a visit visa and now faced some issues with her legal documents. To resolve these issues, she needed money. Therefore, her friend was taking her to the house of an old man named Lethan, so that Nina could work there and earn some money to fight her case. Nina asks what kind of person Lethan is. Her friend responds that he is quite nice, and many girls have worked there before and have been very happy. She reassures Nina not to worry, saying he will take good care of her. While passing through the jungle, they take a short break. Suddenly, a man runs out of the forest towards Nina, asking for help. Nina gets scared and gets back into the car, telling her friend that maybe the man needs their help. But her friend explains that they can't help anyone like this here. These are tribespeople who live in the jungle, and they often have conflicts among themselves. If they get involved in these conflicts, their own lives could be in danger. Eventually, they reach Lethan's house. Nina's friend tells Lethan that Nina is looking for work. Lethan agrees to give her work but mentions that all the girls who have worked there before were unmarried and didn't have children, while Nina has a daughter. Nina assures him that her daughter is not mischievous and won't cause any trouble, and that she will take good care of everything. After this, Lethan agrees to give her the job. Nina's friend now leaves, and Lethan begins showing Nina his house. Nina notices many deer heads mounted on the walls. Lethan explains that he loves hunting deer and often eats their meat, preserving and displaying their heads in his home. Lethan then takes her to his room where there is a very old photo. When Nina asks about it, Lethan tells her it's a picture of his great-grandfather from the time they were celebrating the harvest. Nina asks what the harvest is, and Lethan says it's coming soon and they'll celebrate together, so she will see what it is. Night falls, and everyone goes to sleep. In the morning, Nina wakes up to find her daughter is not with her. Panicked, she goes downstairs and sees that Lethan has not only made breakfast for himself but is also feeding her daughter. Nina feels a bit embarrassed and apologizes, saying she'll wake up early from now on to make breakfast before he gets up. Lethan reassures her, saying it's no problem since it's her first day, and tells her to enjoy the breakfast he made for her too. He then says he'll explain the work to her afterward. During their conversation, they hear strange noises coming from the basement. Lethan tells her not to worry, explaining that since his house is near the forest, raccoons often get into the basement. He tells them to continue their breakfast while he goes to get rid of the raccoons. Lethan then starts explaining the work to Nina. He also mentions that he has never married because he prefers to live alone. He shows Nina a room outside the house where he doesn't like anyone to enter. It's his personal room. Later, we see Lethan go to the basement, retrieve a piece of meat, and bring it to Nina, asking her to cook it for dinner. Meanwhile, Lethan notices that Nina is coughing a lot. He makes her a strange tea and tells her that if she drinks it, she will never have a cough again. Nina finds this a bit odd but drinks the tea quietly. Immediately after drinking it, she feels dizzy and goes to sleep. The next morning, when Nina woke up, she felt quite fresh. She neither had a cough nor a fever. Lethan came to her room again and served her the same tea. This time, too, she drank it happily. As Nina was drinking it, we see that Lethan was looking at her with a peculiar expression, as if the tea wasn't just tea, but something strange with a sinister motive behind it. After drinking it, Nina fell into a deep sleep again. She couldn't understand what was in it that made her so sleepy. Anyway, the next morning, Nina had started her work. While she was chopping wood for the fireplace, Lethan came to her and said that he was going to do some grocery shopping and would be back in a while. He asked her to take care of everything until he returned. Shortly after he left, a man came running and asked Nina for help. Nina felt threatened just by looking at the man, so she quickly took her daughter and went inside the house. As soon as Lethan returned, she told him about the man. Upon hearing the man's name, Lethan began saying strange things. He told her that this place was very dangerous and that if she saw any man around, she should understand that he is a threat to her, and she should kill him immediately. Nina asked how she could do that since she had never done anything like it before. Lethan took her outside and started training her on how to kill people. For practice, Lethan asked Nina to kill a fawn. Nina had never taken a life before, and she was scared. Lethan scolded her, saying she was crazy and needed to kill anyone to protect her daughter. Seeing Lethan and Nina, the man who had previously asked Nina for help returned. Upon seeing him, Lethan hit him on the head with a gun, knocking him down. Before Lethan could kill him, the man pleaded, saying, "No, I'm not a threat to you. My car broke down nearby. I just need your help to fix it." The man introduced himself as Andre. Lethan believed that Andre was telling the truth, so he brought him into the house. Soon after arriving, Andre and Nina became good friends, and Lethan noticed this too. Lethan allowed Andre to stay for 2 days because their harvest festival was in 2 days. Nina was very happy with this decision. Lethan even took the responsibility of fixing Andre's car. He also gave Andre the same tea he gave Nina every day. Afterward, Lethan went to bed, and Nina began cleaning up the kitchen. Andre came to the kitchen to help her and noticed the wine there. He asked Nina if they could drink some wine that night. Nina said no, explaining that since this was Lethan's house, she needed his permission for everything, as she was just a maid here. Andre asked her why she was working there. Nina explained that there was an issue with her legal documents, and she needed some money to fix it, which is why she was working there. Andre told her that he was also there on a visit visa. After these conversations, they both went to bed. In the middle of the night, when Nina woke up, she saw a man with deer antlers standing on the other side of her window. She was terribly scared. She blinked her eyes, and when she looked again, no one was there. She thought it was just her imagination. The next morning, when she woke up, she saw that her daughter was not in bed again. Panicked, she looked around the house but didn't find her. Frantically, she went outside and saw her daughter playing with Lethan. She quickly ran and hugged her daughter tightly. At that moment, Nina saw 3 people wearing deer masks in the distance in the jungle. Seeing them, she got scared again and wanted to tell Lethan, but before she could, the 3 figures disappeared. Lethan told her that it seemed like she was hallucinating and warned her not to drink wine in his house without permission. He then told her to prepare as some guests were coming that night. Following Lethan to his room to prepare, she noticed a book with illustrations of the same figures she had seen in her hallucinations. Before she could ask Lethan about it, he scolded her, saying she had bad habits and should never touch his things without permission. He warned her that something very bad could happen if she did. He then gave her a dress and told her to wear it and be ready for the evening, as she needed to look good for the guests. Obeying him, Nina wore the dress and got ready for the evening. She came out with her daughter to meet the guests and noticed that all the guests were behaving very strangely. Noticing this, she took Andre upstairs and told him how odd everyone was acting. Andre agreed, saying he had noticed it too. He told her that he felt something was wrong and suggested that they leave with her daughter. He offered her a place to stay at his room and said he could help resolve her financial issues as he had some money and a job for her. However, Nina said she couldn't leave because she had a contract with Lethan. Andre then advised her to be careful and to keep her eyes open while staying there. During their conversation, Lethan arrives and calls both of them downstairs to enjoy the party. After the party, Lethan tells Andre that his car is now ready and he can leave if he wants to. He then takes Andre to his personal room, the one he had forbidden Nina from entering. As soon as they enter, Andre's facial expressions change, indicating he is very scared by the surroundings. Meanwhile, Nina, looking for Andre, comes outside where she again sees a person wearing a deer mask. She thinks she might be hallucinating and tries to ignore it. When she looks again, no one is there. She was outside looking for Andre. Lethan also comes out and tells her that Andre has already left. Nina questions how Andre could leave without meeting her. Lethan responds that he might have been in a hurry. Lethan then gives Nina the same drink he gives her every day. After drinking it, Nina loses consciousness. When she briefly regains consciousness, she sees herself lying on a white table with many people around her performing a ritual. The scene cuts, and we see Nina wake up in her bed, dressed as she normally would be for sleeping, making her think that what she saw was just a dream. She resumes her daily chores and while cleaning, she finds blood on the floor. Shocked, she wonders whose blood it could be. Feeling that something is wrong, she goes to Lethan's room. There, she finds a wooden box in the wardrobe. Inside the box, she discovers many pictures clearly showing that during the harvest festival, the community members eat human flesh. These people are cannibals. She also finds a book containing all the information about their community. Before Nina could read the book, she heard Lethan coming. Quickly, she put everything back and went outside. At this time, Lethan was sitting in the basement. To see what he was doing, she went to the basement too. From one of the rooms, she heard someone screaming, and when Lethan came out, he had a knife in his hand. Seeing this, Nina got scared. The voice from the room sounded like Andre's. Lethan told her that even if she wanted to die, she should never go into that room. Despite Lethan's warning, she decided to check the room in the middle of the night. Lethan knew that Nina would go to that room, so he stayed awake and caught her before she could enter. He warned her not to make such a mistake again and to always do what he said. The next day, when Lethan went grocery shopping, Nina secretly planned to go to the basement again. She hid her daughter upstairs in the house and went to the basement with a knife. When she couldn't unlock the door with the knife, she used an axe to break it down. Inside, she was shocked to find Andre. Her suspicion was correct. Lethan had gouged out Andre's eyes. She decided to help Andre and took him out of there, also picking up her daughter. Before they could leave the place, Lethan arrived and caught all three of them. He then used a shotgun to render them unconscious. When Nina regained consciousness, she found herself tied up in her room. At this time, Luther brought food and the same drink for her which he used to give her every day. Nina refused to drink it. In response to which Nina said that if you don't want to eat then don't eat, but if you don't listen to me then you will see how badly I will treat your daughter even before leaving. Nina has to agree to him and she drinks his drink. At night, Luther wears clothes like his elders, only with a strange coat and deer on his body. After which he came to Nina. Seeing him like this, Nina understood that the person whom she used to see every day was not Lucien Schanz, but it was Luther who was looking like this to her. At this time, he took Nina to the bathroom and asked her to remove her clothes and asked Nina to take a bath in front of him. Nina started taking a bath. This man said that until you become pure, you cannot be a part of our festival. When Nina was doing all this, he told Nina that I will raise your daughter myself and will raise her according to our community. Hearing all this, when Nina was about to attack him in anger, Luther drowns her in the bathtub. After that, he takes her head out of the bathtub and says that you just cooperate with us, and he left from here. Well, we see that the next morning Nina was sitting upset. Luther again brought food for her. He was about to feed her with his own hands, but Nina said, "Please introduce me to my daughter just once." Luther said, "I will introduce you to her, but first you eat this food." Nina agreed and ate his food too. After which Luther went to the basement where we saw that he had killed Andre and now he was cutting Andre's body so that he could use his flesh to serve his guests at night. Nina was unconscious due to the drink given by Luther. When she regained consciousness at night, she found herself at the dining table where all the people of Luther's cult were present along with Nina's friend who had brought her to Luther's house. Nina understood that she was also a part of Luther's cult. Here Luther was reading his book. After reading this book, he says that now we will drink the blood of our prey, that is, it was Andre's blood which was lying in front of them in glasses. Everyone picks it up and sips it, after which Luther lifts the lid of the food dish. Inside it was a face cut with a saw. Everyone was about to eat this roasted head. Seeing this, Nina got very scared and even vomited. As soon as Nina did this, their party got spoiled. And all the members of the party told Luther about the trouble that because of this member, their whole party got spoiled. In anger, Luther picks him up and takes him to the basement and ties him up. We see that Nina's daughter was also there, through whom Nina frees herself. There were knives, guns and many other things in the basement. She picks up the knife from there and takes it to herself. After which she takes the shotgun and comes out. She did not want to leave these people, these lowly animals, alive. She wanted to kill them all. As soon as she comes out of the pit, she sees a boy who gets scared after seeing the dirt in Nina's hand. He says to Nina, "No, please don't kill me." But Nina does not listen to him and shoots him dead. When they hear the sound of the bullet, everyone becomes alert. Luther, who had gone to say goodbye to Nina's friend, both of them also turned back towards the house, while Nina was coming towards Luther's personal room where he had always forbidden Nina to go. Before she could open the door, Nina's friend comes from behind and attacks her. But she did not know that Nina had also come fully prepared this time. She also kills her friend by slitting his throat with a knife. After killing her friend, she also opens the door of that room with her knife. She sees strange things here, cut parts of human beings. She gets scared after seeing them, but she did not lose courage. She takes the key from here and runs away. Before Nina finds the key there, she gets close to Luther. She also got ready with a gun to kill Luther. As soon as Luther came in front of her, she also fired the gun and the bullet hit Luther's hand. Luther did not die here. Luther somehow overpowers Nina and locks her in a box and then goes to Nina's daughter. He captures her daughter and makes her a part of his D-Chol. He kills her, but before that Nina had reached there in time to free herself from the box. To save her daughter's life, she had overpowered Luther from behind. And as soon as she pushes Luther back, Luther's crown falls down and gets stuck on Nina's feet. Nina felt a lot of pain, but she still did not let go of Nina, and then removing his crown from her feet, she stamped it on Nina's body, which Luther died there, and Nina and her daughter were saved. Nina gave this life to the one who breathed her last the next morning. She took Luther's car and left from there. In the last scene of the story, we are told that in the US, people often disappear like this and no clue is found about them. Showing this movie concludes. I hope you have liked this movie recap. Please like, share and subscribe for more real recaps.